It's a gorgeous Thursday afternoon here in Lanzarote. I'm in the village of Mala. Lots of traffic going by, forgive me for that. But the reason I'm here is that we're going to head down to Charco del Palo. And this is the only road down to it. There's a very small sign there to Charco del Palo and to Restaurante Don Quixote on the left there. Look out for that if you want to visit the village. That's the only way in from this main road, which runs parallel to the LZ1 and goes through the villages of Mala and Guatiza. About 3k down that road and we've arrived at the seaside, as you can see. Charco del Palo was established in 1970 on this land, which was owned by a German called Gregor Kaiser. And what he wanted to create here was a naturist village, and he succeeded. He built the initial houses. The village is interesting because it actually straddles two municipalities. About 2/3 of it is in Aria and the other third of it is in Teguise. But the public land around here is still owned by Gregor and his descendants. He built a lot of these properties. Other developers bought plots from him and built their own. It is now a full-on naturist village, so it's acceptable to walk around here naked. And for that reason, I might be cutting sharply out of various sections of this, so I don't show you anybody's bits and pieces. Population by the year 2000 was 88. It's now something like 200, but there's also a big holiday complex here and lots of properties available for holiday letting as well. It doesn't only attract naturists, but most people here are, and most people who come on holiday here are. So there's a small shopping centre here with Lily's Bar in it. Some workers there playing some music, enjoying themselves. Coming up on the left, we've got the Jardin Tropical, which is a cafe bar. This is new, this little playground. I don't remember that from last time I was here. And then beyond this, the other side of the restaurant, is the Obona, which is the big holiday complex down here. It's actually quite seasonal, Charco del Palo. It's very quiet, or pretty quiet in the summer, but gets very busy in the winter months with naturists coming over from Germany, the UK and Holland predominantly. Quite breezy again today, as you can probably hear, but at least we've got blue sky. The weather this week's been pretty poor. We've had strong winds, but we've also had cloud, and that thankfully has gone away, and I gather the wind's going to die later today. And if you can hear my flip-flop squeaking, I apologise. Another little bar coming up here, Cueva Paloma. The soil here is very sandy. If you go in the direction we're looking at now, there are lovely sandy tracks where you can ride a quad or a mountain bike or walk to Arrieta and from there on to Punta Mujeres. Now down this pathway we come to what's known locally as the Monkey Rocks, and the Monkey Rocks are the access point for some of the very best diving on the island. My favourite dive site. I'll show them to you in a minute. I'm just waiting for someone to walk past, but when you step into the water here, within almost no distance there are some stunning caves. There's a deep reef which goes right down to 45 metres, and down there you'll find black coral. And it's just beautiful and easily accessed by just jumping in off the side of the rocks, and then there's a ladder to climb yourself back out from. As you can see, the wind we've had the last few days has really whipped the ocean up, so lots and lots of white water. It's probably not a great diving day today, which is fine because I don't have any intention of going diving. Those are the monkey rocks, and you can see the 2 ladders that will help you get out of the sea. And literally just right down there, there's an amazing amount of sea life. And if you go out to the offshore rock there, there's a fabulous cave, as I mentioned, and then the reef is a bit further straight on. Just sweeping around, catching some waves for you. And then just beyond the monkey rocks, there's another little inlet or a bay there. I'm not going to get too near because I don't want to pick up a load of naked people for the video. And we'll walk around the corner from here. I'm delighted to see that this restaurant, whose name escapes me and has been closed for the best part of 15 years, I guess, is getting a major refurb. So I'm interested to come and find out what's going in there. You can probably see a little bit of it through the fence, but it's just right front line. It's a brilliant position for a place. So hopefully that will be opening as a restaurant again. We've walked all the way through the village now, and we're at the Arietta end of it, and the road here just pieces out into a track, but that track goes all the way into Arietta. There's a really nice coastal walk you can do, and it's all sandy and duney like you can see in this area here. The houses in Charco del Palo, there are predominantly relatively small bungalows, and there's a few apartments as well, but there are 1 or 2 quite big grand places like that one set back on the hill there. Quite a few have got private pools, and there are some nice duplexes which I fell in love with a few years ago and seriously considered buying one. We're not naturists, I hasten to add, although we have many friends who are, and they thoroughly enjoy living down here and having the freedom to be able to live the way they want. And I can tell you something else, that when you're getting changed out of your diving gear, it's quite liberating not to have to worry too much about wrapping yourself in a towel and not sticking your backside out for everyone to see. It's like one of the buggy excursions enjoys this track. We had a quad a few years ago, and I used to enjoy riding it to come and visit our friends in Charco del Palo. I could go pretty much off-road from our house in Aria to theirs in Charco. These are the duplexes I was talking about earlier. Nice properties with a gorgeous communal swimming pool in the middle. They were built by a couple of developers from London. I remember meeting them at the planning stage and having a chat with them in their office in Puerto del Carmen, and I think they sold quite successfully. We've come full circle back to the little commercial centre now, and that really brings us to the end of our visit to Charco del Palo. I'm going to head back up the hill now. So if you're a diver and you haven't dived here, I would urge you to ask your dive school or dive guide to bring you down here, because I really do think it's the best diving on the island. If you're a naturist, it's a great place to come and get your kit off. But if you just want to go somewhere different, come down here. You don't need to take your clothes off. I'm fully clothed now, and we often go in the bars and restaurants here fully clothed. Nobody minds. And I'm sure you'll enjoy visiting Charco del Palo. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you soon, I hope.